welcome to the second part of our video series, Being a Creative in the New Normal. Today we are catching up with William Lottering in Toronto, and we're going to ask him a few questions about what he's been doing since the publication of the ebook that has been disseminated last year. Hi, William, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Thea. It's summer in Toronto right now, so I'm really enjoying it.
What have you been reading, watching, or following during lockdown? Has that, in any sense, inspired you?
Well, I've been reading a lot, many books, but one that I'm reading right now is called *Sapiens: History of Humankind* by Yuval Noah Harari. He's a professor in history, and I'm really impressed by this book. I've been wanting to read it for a long time. He's expressing a lot of the thoughts that I've had over the years, of which one of the most important is that evolution is not necessarily a linear process. And that in the history of humankind, we know about the different species of humans, but that a lot of them coexisted, and one didn't evolve into the other. So the evolution was kind of gradual, and it's opening a whole can of worms, but it's very interesting. So, I've been thinking about mankind, I guess.
I think we are all thinking about mankind at the moment in terms of the pandemic, as a collective, as a whole species of people who worldwide are suffering under these circumstances in some or other way. So I think it's quite relevant that you are reading something about mankind right now.
People are reconsidering where they live and how they live, and that is an interesting factor. I think for artists too, like how we do art, how we display art.
Have any new opportunities developed for you during this past time?
I'm looking forward to working for another art show, but there's so much going on. I have also live drawing classes scheduled here in my town. My writing is still continuing. As you know, I published a novel last year. I'm currently working on the English translation, and it's kind of I would say the English translation is about 80% done. So that's one project that's continuing. The writing in general is a huge part of my life as well. There's a new novel, a new idea, and I'm going to the cottage in Quebec shortly, and this is probably where I'll do some more writing in the summer. It's a really beautiful place to write. It's by the lake, at the foot of a mountain, and very quiet. So this is a good place to write.
Would you like to speak a little bit more about the book?
Yeah, it's fiction. It's a novel. It's in Afrikaans. It's called Immigrant, Immigrant. Kind of highlighting the difference between the two. It's of a family who immigrated from South Africa to Canada, and something happens in Canada to question their big decision. And so at the end of the novel, we need to ask, was it worth their while? Now, we know about the political problems in South Africa and why people are leaving the country, but the fact is that no country is perfect. And although Canada is one of the top countries in the world to be in, I guess, things happen here too. So you can't guarantee safety in the world anywhere. And that's what the novel is about. The issue of displacement is a topic that I often address, or
Yes.
the fact that in some of my paintings, I've actually made a series on this called Stages, where I have
Mm,
different
I know.
platforms in my works where different things take place, like in
Mm,
a life, you know. So they intertwined. It's all just part of one body of thinking, I would say. I've also done some radio interviews in the past few months, and then I make videos as well. My videos are on art and not specifically art techniques, but again more about the thinking about art. So that's
mm.
what I hope to bring across.
And you are doing portrait commission at the moment. How's that developing?
Well, I have to try to fit it in because I am not a full-time portrait painter, but I do portrait commissions. It's a large
Hmm,
portrait of 3 by 4 feet and of a businessman.
amazing.
And so I guess this is one of my major projects in the next few weeks. It'll take me about, my guess is about 2 3 months to paint it.
We are per definition isolated, predominantly isolated when we create or when we do our work. How does this affect you now?
Well, as always, you will know that the studio is a private place. It's a place
Absolutely.
where you can freely think and experiment and
Mm,
develop ideas and then
mm,
make products. It hasn't changed for me during the lockdown. I still work, I still discontinue my work. But I have to make a distinction between isolation and solitude because I think, yes, we kind of isolate ourselves in the studio, but it's more about solitude. And
yeah.
solitude is where uh, you can have peak experience, a place where without interruption, you can actually develop
Mm,
your thoughts and ideas. So I think it's been positive in that way. I didn't really see any problems. I was lucky to have been creative. Lots of things have happened to actually stimulate the creativity. At the beginning of the lockdown, two very close family members died within 10 days of each other in our family, and my children and I had to deal with this. And I guess it brings depth, but it also the studio is a safe place to think about all these things. Uh, I haven't seen my family a lot during the lockdown. We went for walks and stuff, but we haven't actually. We had to cancel many of the family events, and because of the deaths that had occurred, it was kind of a difficult thing. We had to make
mm,
do just by seeing each other now and then and going for walks instead of
mm.
socializing. I've done the same with friends. It's easier now because it's now open again. We can meet on a deck or on a patio somewhere, but it's getting better. There's no traveling for us yet, although it looks better for Canadians and Americans. Uh, we're waiting to see what happens, but we're planning a trip, our next trip to Europe, anyways. And then there might also be a side trip to British Columbia. So lots of things to do.
Lots of things to do, lots of things to plan and to dream about and to visualize to do when things for us here in South Africa opens up a bit more. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day. Further, good luck with the portrait and with the
Okay.
translation. And we'll speak again.
Lekker
Thank
blij.
you.
Tot ziens.